Towering above the South Ayrshire coast, Culzean is one of Scotland's best-loved castles. The home of the Kennedy family, started life as a humble tower house. The Kennedy family is one of Scotland's oldest families and trace ancestry to Robert the Bruce. The castle and its landscape reflect their status and aspirations. The Firth of Clyde was a notorious centre for smuggling, and the fortified caves beneath Culzean Castle were ideal for hiding contraband from the revenue officers. The Culzean Kennedys and others on the estate were either directly involved in smuggling or turned a blind eye to it in exchange for a share of the profit. Over the centuries, the Kennedys transformed what was a medieval tower house built to protect its inhabitants during dangerous times into one of the grandest country houses in Ayrshire. A tour of the castle begins in the armoury, furnished by the flamboyant and ambitious 12th Earl, who bought the obsolete pistols and swords from the Office of Ordnance at the Tower of London. The kitchen block was designed by Robert Adam in 1779 and was stocked with a huge variety of produce from the gardens and home farm. Among the many beautiful rooms and apartments of the castle is the round drawing room with its panoramic views of the Ayrshire coast. But the masterpiece of them all must be the oval staircase, a dramatic focal point giving the impression the house was built around it, when in fact it was the last phase of Adam's work at Culzean. As times became settled, Culzean became more of a family home. By the 17th century, terraces and pleasure gardens had been constructed and there was a desire to create a trophy house, a building that shouted that the Kennedy family had arrived. There have been ornamental and productive gardens at Culzean since the middle of the 17th century. The favourable south-facing walls in front of the castle have a wide range of climbers and tender shrubs growing. The Clematis montana plants smother the lower wall and merge in with the colourful herbaceous border beneath. The imposing stone and glass orangery contains a range of citrus trees in the winter and mixed conservatory plants in the summer. The visitor centre was originally Robert Adam's home farm. There is an area of 2.5 hectares of walled gardens. On the south side are the ranges of fruit houses containing vines and peaches. These houses look out over the ornamental south garden containing several interesting features. All set off by a cedar of Lebanon that could easily be as old as the garden itself. The side borders still provide a blaze of colour. The most spectacular ones in this part of the garden are the double herbaceous borders, at their best in July and August. The north part of the garden was the productive heart of the estate. Although not now in full production, Fruit and vegetables are still grown in this part of the garden and are offered for sale in season along with plants propagated in the garden. The Kennedy family planted more than 5 million trees, leaving a legacy of mature woodland that provides a wide range of habitat for the wild flora and fauna which are abundant in the country park today. The Gashouse complex stands on a little bay below the castle. The Gashouse was working until 1947, when the National Trust for Scotland, having just come into possession of Culzean, installed electricity. The buildings were restored in 1993 and now house an exhibition on gas production and the life of William Murdoch, pioneer of domestic gas lighting. Situated at the south end of the park, the pagoda, built in 1860, stands at the top of the grass lawn overlooking the Swan Pond. The lower level was the Swan House with the gazebo above, entered by means of an elegant horseshoe staircase. The pagoda fell into a ruined state but was restored in 1998. The Swan Pond is a popular venue for families, birdwatchers, walkers and historians alike. The conservation and protection of these animals is at the heart of the work done on the deer park by the forester and his team, and many have become part of the family by having to be hand-reared from birth. What you see at Culzean Castle today is a result of many years of careful restoration by the National Trust for Scotland, for reflecting the different stages of Culzean's past, from Robert Adams' additions to the medieval tower house to its heyday as one of the grandest houses in Scotland.